Welcome back to Regen Rovers Recap, where today I will be reviewing our 12th season. So it wasn't meant to be this year. We were so close to promotion to the promised land, but at the final step, the playoff final, we lost on penalties against Reading. A cruel way to lose that final. So we will be competing in a third season in the Championship. Some of you think that's a good thing. Some of you think we need to just settle ourselves in this division first before getting promoted and getting ahead of ourselves. I kind of disagree. I feel like if we got promoted, obviously the money coming into the club would have been huge and it would have transformed the club. But I'm looking forward to another season in this very competitive league. Thank you to everyone that has continued to watch the series and watch the latest season. It really was a magnificent season. We scored the most goals in the Championship, 90 goals in our 46 games. Defensively, not the best, but not dreadful. It is in the bottom half in terms of defence, so that's obviously a part of the team I do need to improve this year. But overall, it really was quite magnificent, and we were in the top 6 for the majority of the season. After game week 5, in fact, we were in the top 6, and we were top of the table twice this season. We were unable to sustain that though, and we finished down in 4th. We were 3rd for a long old time, as you can see here, but we did drop off down to 4th in the end. But we got to be proud of the lads. It really was a stupendous season. Mark Ball, top goal scorer in the league. We'll have a look at the statistics in a bit. But yeah, headline, Mark Ball, 5 ahead of the second top goal scorer. Luna, our player on loan from Brighton, got 24 goals in the league as well. Mark Ball just about missed out on the top average rating there as well. Let's have a look at the players then, and then we'll have a look at the awards. But just to recap the simple statistics, Mark Ball made the most appearances this season. He scored the most goals with 33 in all competitions. Luna second with 25. Jasakovic, our on loan left winger, was third. It was shared around the rest of the team. The likes of Ryan Curtis, Flanagan up there. Stevenson did quite well from his defensive midfield role. Assists wise, Luna was top with 10. Rutherford and Ball picked up 9 each, and then we've got Jasakovic, Gregor, Bilbo and Flanagan on 7 each. Man of the match wise, Mark Ball with 9, no surprises there. An average rating, if we ignore Agu at the top, who only made 4 appearances this season, Mark Ball with the best average rating, 7.3. What a player he is. He is special. I have to give him so much credit because it has been quite an incredible few years for him since he joined us from, well, he was playing in the National League South on loan the year before we signed him for the League 2 season, where he scored 26 goals in all competitions. And since then, he's been top goal scorer in the league every single season. Once in League 2, once in League 1, and now twice in the Championship. This year was just ridiculous. He's got better and better as we've gone up the divisions, and he's now 27. He's in his prime. If we can get up to the top flight in the next couple of seasons, he should be able to enjoy his time in the Premier League, hopefully score a few goals as well. That would be marvellous. He is just so special, and he's got a year left on his contract. We need to sign him up for a new contract very soon, just to make sure he stays with us. But no one's ever been the first team ever to be interested in him is Sheffield Wednesday, who, they're in the Championship with us. Why would he move to a mid-table Championship club when he can stay with us? We probably will be able to afford more wages as well. Financially, we're in a very good position after getting to the playoff final. Almost £10 million in the bank right now, which is brilliant. Look at all that money coming in, 7.5 million this month. Solidarity payments for competing in the Championship. Lots of gate receipts because of Plumbing Park being expanded, but also Wembley, of course, taking part at Wembley. TV money from the final as well. So we're in a good position. We're still only a 2-star national reputation team, but I think our facilities are decent. Got a good sized stadium now. We'll need to increase that if we do go up, of course. We've still got below average and below average training and youth facilities, but they are currently being improved. So I guess they'll be up to average, and we will continue to improve them as much as possible. If we're looking at legends, icons and favoured personnel, nothing has changed. I'm still on the legends list. The icons: Mark Ball, Marcus Higgins, who has retired, and Samuel Assini, who still hasn't managed to find a club. He might end up retiring as well. And of course, our legendary striker, Ogachukwu Agu, still in the team. He's still on the favoured personnel list, but no new additions thus far, but that could update over the summer. Now, having a look at the best 11, this is really weird. Bayliss has snatched the goalkeeper position from Okoro after one season, but why isn't Okoro even on the bench? He's made over 500 appearances for the club. It just doesn't make any... This is just so random. I used to like the best 11 thing, but on FM19, it does seem to have messed up quite a bit, because we've got Adrian Bowes at left back instead of Assini, and it's just quite random additions, I think. Obviously, Mark Ball should be up front, but we've still got Morgan Fawkes, and although he was important for us in the first couple of seasons, he's obviously not been important for us since. He stayed at the club because he's willing to stay on a non-contract. He doesn't cost us any money, and it's just kind of funny that he's still here. He's 29 years old now, by the way. Same with Ray Rigg as well. Paul McCann in here. He retired a couple of years ago. Godwin, Flanagan. Godwin's still playing. He's playing for Peterborough North Star still. Toby Brazil has managed to find a club. He's actually playing for Bristol City because, well, we sold him, remember. We sold him last year for 150k, and he didn't actually... It's mainly come off the bench, being a bit part player in League One for Bristol City. We'll have a look at the rest of the divisions in a second. Matthew Avison, he's actually found a club. He's moved to Torquay United in the Southern Premier South. That is where we started. He's back where we started in a very strange way. Very strange roundabout way. Max Keane, has he found a club? No, he retired. Wayne Burns has finally found a club. In fact, he'd found one last year, didn't he? I remember. Because he rejected the opportunity to sign a new contract with us in the Championship and decided to move to Dunstable. He's done pretty well for them in the National League, looking at it. But yeah, that was a little bit odd. Elliot Avison, playing for Wimborne in the Southern Premier Central, all the way down there. And Luke Mooney, he's playing for Bideford still in the Southern Division 1 West. Didn't really work out for him in the end, did it? But if we have a look at this year's... In fact, let's have a look at the awards first. And then the team of the season this year. Mark Ball has easily picked up the Fans Player of the Season award, 76%. That is his 5th season in a row that he has won this award. He's won it every single season that he was here. He's also been top goal scorer every single season that he's been here, of course. He has been a revelation and is definitely the best player of the series so far. He just has to be. I don't think anyone will actually overtake him either at this point. Luna, second with 13%. And Clint Bayliss had a good season in goal, didn't he? Had a fantastic final. Brilliant performances from him in the playoffs. A big game player. And he's a position we don't need to improve next year. He will be our number one. He deserves to be our number one. But we do need to improve the defence in front of him. Gregor Bilbo, signing of the season, didn't really feature in the second half of the season that much, but he has won that award. Luna, really good signing. If we can get him back on loan from Brighton, I think that would be a bonus, but they might want to play him next year. We shall see. We'll have a look at goal of the season in a second. The best 11, though, this season: Bayliss in goal, Passmore, Vitor, Dix at the back, which is a bit shocking. Blackman, Rutherford, Flanagan, Stevenson, Chisakovic, Mark Ball and Luna. No massive surprises there, I suppose. Goal of the season then: Alan Stevenson with this free kick. It was a beautiful strike, to be fair. Maybe the keeper could have done a little bit better, but he got a lot of curl behind it. My personal goal of the season will be the goal that sent us to Wembley from Mark Ball, because it was incredible. It probably isn't the goal of the season, but because of the circumstances and the importance of this game, we were down to 10 men. For me, it is our goal of the season. Of course, we went on to lose the final. I'm not doing my own goal of the season award this year. I basically forgot to do that this year. I forgot to note down all the best goals. So for me, this is the goal of the season, and hopefully you agree with me. But if there's any that stand out, any you can remember to stick it in the comment section below, because I've probably forgotten quite a few good strikes this year, to be honest. Now, let's have a look at the records whilst we're here. Mark Ball, in fact, I can show you the spreadsheet before we look at this. This is where I document all the progress that we've made so far. So 12 seasons in, this is where we are. I put all the top goal scorers, play of the season, etc. Now, I will put a poll on Twitter. Mark Ball has won the last 4, and he's surely the favourite to win this one as well. But I know you guys do like goalkeepers, so Bayliss might have a chance of winning it just because of his incredible performances in the last few games. David Okoro has previously won it, the only goalkeeper to win this award. I also list all the players, of course, so I'll need to update this. There are a few players that come through the academy that I have signed, but this is the overall top goal scorer list. So any player that has scored 20 goals for the club is on this list. We've got 18 players that have managed to make it onto this list. There's one new addition this year. Luna has gone in straight at number 13 thanks to his 25 goals this season. Mark Ball is leading the way with 155 goals in 5 seasons. Agu still second with 121. Scored a couple goals this year in the Hampshire Senior Cup. And Ryan Curtis, another current player, with 73. Mark Ball, though, he's just on another level, isn't he? Need to update this. End of season 12. And the most appearances. So we've currently had 27 different players feature in 100 Regen Rovers matches. Alec McCann at the bottom there. But Okoro leading the way with 507. Barry Miles made a few this year. He's managed to get up to over 400 appearances for the club. He's one of our own. What a legend. Agu is third. Assini made one appearance before leaving the club at the start of this season. Mark Ball's moved up to 9th place. And he will, if he stays, he'll be probably moving up to 6th. Or possibly up to 5th at the end of next season. Other players, current players still at the club. We've got Ray Riggs still here. Ryan Curtis up to 16th place. Lucas Long up to 19th place. Don't know if he's going to stay around this summer. Passmore's a new addition to the list, as is Wes Honor as well, in fact. So looking at the records on the game, Flanagan's still our most expensive player. Will that change in the summer? Maybe. Glenn Martin, how's he got on at Crystal Palace? The most expensive transfer we've received. He actually went on loan to League 2 Bury in the end. He had the chance to be number 1 at a Championship club, but we sold him. He didn't really impress me in his first appearance for the club this season, and I'm glad we got rid of him because Bayliss came in and did exceptionally well in my opinion, although he hasn't managed to break David Okoro's clean sheet record in his first season at the club. Attendance wise, we've of course broken our record because we've got a much bigger stadium now, and the average attendance will be much bigger, as you can see there. Most overall goals by a player in a season, Mark Ball. What a legend. Most assists, haven't looked at this actually. I mean, it's dropped off a bit this year. Luna with 10. Mark Ball managed to finish first the last couple years. There's the most clean sheets. Highest average rating, Mark Ball this season. In fact, that's one of the highest we've ever had. Mark Ball got 7.36 back in 2027. Marcus Higgins still with the most though, 7.53. And look at this from Charlie Blackman. 4 red cards. Strangely, he only picked up 4 yellow cards, but 4 red cards this season from our left back. That is just unacceptable, isn't it? Match of the season, 4-1 win against QPR. Moment to forget the 5-2 defeat against Sheffield Wednesday. There were a couple of pretty horrible games, I think, but overall we did really, really well. Let's have a look at the dynamics then, shall we? I haven't shown this for a couple seasons, I don't think. So at the moment, the team leader is club captain David Okoro, who... Does he stay as club captain, or should Mark Ball now be club captain? He's got 12 on leadership. I've never fancied a striker as a captain, but having said that, he was the captain on the pitch for the entirety of the season, apart from the few games David Okoro did play, because he's vice captain. So I think it's time for Mark Ball to be our captain. Ryan Curtis also on the team in the team leader list. He's got 14 on leadership actually, but he doesn't play enough to be our captain. Gu is in the highly influential players with Flanagan. Perry Miles, still here, 26 years old now, come through the academy of course. Stevenson, Dixon, Long on there. Then you've got this massive list of influential players and just the other players, Adam Pearce, Cochrane and Taylor. These are the social groups. So we've got one massive group and then a few new players or lone players, I suppose. Mark Ball, top goal scorer award, well done to him. Team of the year, Mark Ball as well, dominated by Southampton players, and there's good old Mark Ball up front alongside this chap. He scored more than double the goals. To be fair, he made 10 more appearances, but still a very impressive season from him. It's kind of good that Southampton have gone up because I think they are a powerful team. Same with West Brom. Reading, I don't know about them. In fact, what's been their history, their recent history? They've just been in the Championship, haven't they? They were relegated actually the first season, but since then they've just been in the Championship. Interestingly, Cardiff relegated, considering they were only just relegated from the Premier League last year, 20th in the Premier League last year. They've gone straight back down again under the charge of Moutinho in charge. Remember they tried to sign Cochrane at the start of the season and he rejected them. Now, he was right to do that, wasn't he? Because they've been relegated with Brentford and Sunderland. Let's have a look at all of the divisions then. So the Premier League won by Liverpool this season. Brighton up there in 6th. Which might be good for us because Luna plays for Brighton and I can't imagine they'll want to play Luna. So we might be able to get him back on loan. Leeds, Sheffield United and Watford relegated. Now Leeds, they've been up and down a bit, I think. Yeah, a couple times. They'll be tough, I think. Because our first season in the Championship, they were in our division and they had huge amounts of wages. Sheffield United, they've definitely been a yo-yo team, haven't they? They could be tough. And Watford as well, obviously a traditional Premier League team. They were only promoted last year in first place and they've gone straight back down again. I think that's a good thing because they should be, in theory, weaker teams than these other Premier League teams. So I don't mind taking on these ones quite so much. But, of course, it will be tough, whoever we play. And I'm hoping we can build on the squad that we have and also bring on back on loan some of the good players like Tasakovic and Luna. This is League One, so we're going to be taking on Norwich, Barnsley and Bristol City or Swansea. When's that match? Is that today? I'm just going to continue a bit so we can see the result of that League One final, but I've just stopped at this point here because transfer budget £10.24 million, 100k a week wages. That is a significant increase. It will probably still be the lowest in the division depending on the League One teams coming up. We're currently spending 70 grand a week, so that's 30 grand more. And of course, if we dip into some of this transfer budget, we can spend a lot more money. But I need to make a decision about that, don't I? What I think is best for the club. And I don't know whether, I could spend money, it's just whether we can attract the sort of players that want to come to the club because of our 2-star reputation really does hinder us. We were quite lucky really to get a few players on loan. Hopefully that will go up to 2.5 in the summer. That will help us a little bit. So the youth facilities upgrade has been finalised. It's been announced. It's going to take 8 months to complete. But that's good news. It's going to cost quite a bit of money. But we've got the youth facilities finishing on the 1st of January 2031 and the same with the training facilities. So Swansea ended up winning the playoff final against Bristol City, so they're going to be promoted with Barnsley and Norwich. Grimsby, Oldham, Peterborough and Notts County relegated. League 2, Lincoln, Oxford, Wrexham and Rotherham promoted with Stevenage and Kettering going down. The National League won by Boston with Scunthorpe going up. Cambridge United, Oxford City, Hemel Hempstead and Halifax relegated. National League North won by Macclesfield with Chorley going up. Stourbridge, Skelmersdale and Whitby relegated. And lastly, the National League South, Maidstone and Welling United promoted with St Albans, Swindon, Supermarine, something like that, and Royston relegated. And moving on to the FA Cup, Spurs beat Liverpool in this year's final, and the League Cup was won by Man United, beating Man City in the final. Charity Shield won by Man City, Football League Trophy won by Spurs under 23s, FA Trophy won by Scunthorpe, Southern League Cup won by Basford, and the Hampshire Senior Cup, Aldershot thrashed Gosport in the final. They've been very successful in this competition. We obviously crashed out an early stage this year. I think it was against Gosport, in fact. This was the first ever season that the Regen Rovers under-18s team got to compete in a competitive competition. We've just played friendlies up to this point, but we eventually entered into something this year. We finished 10th in the English under-18 Division 3 South West. Bit of a mouthful. We won 9 games, drew 9 and lost 10. Not too bad, considering we do have quite a small team, because I just haven't really signed a huge number of players recently, because I'm only picking up the players that have a little bit of potential. And this year, I think we've signed a few. Paul White, yep, goalkeeper, is that right? I signed him last year, I think. So the first one would be Carl Dale, actually. Yeah, Carl Dale, right winger. I'm pretty sure most, if not all of these, will never play for the first team, but you never know. Nathan Brewer, a left back. We've got John Claude McKendy, centre back. And lastly, one of our Patreon players, Thomas Gregory. Thank you for your support. This is your player. Probably the best of the lot. Striker, decent finishing, okay physicals and mentals. There's something about this chap, actually. He could do it if we can train him up. effectively. I don't know though, it's unlikely. It's so difficult to get these players to come through. The under-23s is tiny these days. Serenity is one player that you got to watch out for. Another Patreon player. He has improved, but I've had so many bids for him this season. We've got to hang on to him, of course, because he's got potential, and the bids have been fairly small. But it kind of shows that he does have some potential. There's been championship clubs in and around him all the time, just trying to tease him, trying to tempt him to their club. So he's the one player to watch out for in the youth system. I think this chap's all right as well. Thomas van den Bruges, another Patreon player. He looks okay, and we need to boost this team a bit, don't we? I think Shay Skinner's going to be leaving. Sampson, I'll probably release him, but I've got to hang on to Ray Rigg and Morgan Fawkes for the time being. I can't let them go. They're on these non-contracts, so unless they leave themselves, they will just stay at the club. I've already alluded to that. I do need to improve the defence. I think that's what. Oh, this is a mess. This is horrible to look at. Go away. Yeah, we need to improve that back line. I haven't looked at the statistics, have I? Attacking wise, we know we're fantastic, but defensively, not the best. Red cards, Blackman, ridiculous, wasn't it? Ridiculous from Blackman. Mark Ball, joint highest number of Man of the Match awards. Flanagan actually ran the most this year, 566.9 kilometres, and actually per 90 minutes, he's at the top as well. I think he's been slightly underappreciated this year. I think he's done a decent job for us in that midfield, but I'm tactically, I'm not sure what we need to go with next year. I think 4-4-2 suits us, but I think a bit of tweaking is required, because at the end of the season we were actually fairly solid defensively in a strange way, but it was detrimental to our attack, which I don't really know why that happened. I don't quite get that. Average minutes per goal, Mark Ball at the top of that list. What a player he is. He really is. He's got the most shots on target as well, which is sensational. Those are the assists. I kind of want to look at defensive. Here we go, defensive down here. I'm surprised Rutherford created so many chances. Mark Ball created lots of chances as well. Tackles per game, pass more's up there. Mistakes leading to goals. So Rutherford, 2 mistakes, but he's not a defender. If we're looking at mistakes, so Chris Potter, our number 1 left back, actually made the 7th highest number of mistakes this year, which is more than Blackman, but Blackman gets sent off 4 times. We need to improve that left back position, I think. Key tackles, Vitor up there, but he was a bit injury prone, and he didn't get the best average rating, but maybe I need to try and give him another shot. But he might play for Leeds next year now that they've been relegated, so I'd accept him back. I don't think we're going to get a better player attribute-wise on paper. So if I can get him back, then I think I will go for it. But our players aren't really anywhere near the defensive things, apart from Vitor being on there. He's on here as well, 16th highest number of interceptions. But we need to be better than that, especially as we do a lot of defending. We conceded a lot of goals, so our defence, it is a problem, I think. So if we can improve that, then I think we'll have a good season next year, as long as Mark Ball continues to score and doesn't get injured. I need to tweak the tactic a little bit, can test a few things out in pre-season friendlies. But I think that's it. Thank you for watching this season review. Overall, it was a fantastic season. We fell at the last hurdle, which was a real shame after all this hard work, all these fantastic results, a few defeats in there, a few blips. And to just lose it on penalties is so cruel. But that's what football is. It's a cruel sport at times. But thank you for your support this season. I hope you're looking forward to episode 111, which will be the start of our 13th season. Until next time, enjoy FM19. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you very soon.